going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, I'll start with the question. Because one young lady asked me two questions, and I knew they were both from her. The reason I wanted to talk about the worth of a woman is that a lot of the women that I see in divorce court aren't quite sure what their value is absent maintaining the relationship that they have. And sometimes I see myself in a position of putting a mirror up to a relationship that is jacked up, lopsided, and wrong. And even though the parties involved seem to see what I'm saying while I'm saying it, I find as soon as they leave that they go back. And not that I'm urging people to leave one another, but I don't know if people, especially women, really, I'm going to take that back because that wasn't a good way to start. I think sometimes society has set it up so that our belief system is such that we really need to maintain a relationship in order to feel good, even if that relationship is not one in which we can thrive and grow. Not saying all women, but some women. Women that come to divorce court, the women that are unhappy. So that's who I'm talking about. If you cool, you straight, hallelujah. I'm cool, I'm straight. Wasn't always cool and straight. Marriages aren't perfect. I have struggles. So we're going to talk about what is truly your value. And I will say something else. It's very interesting. My sister called me this morning and yelled at me. She's my older sister. She never got married. She's a neurologist, brain doctor. And she said, you know what, Lynn, I don't think you know your own worth. Which is really, I thought, was funny, given, that I thought I was going to spend this afternoon talking to women about their worth. And my sister called me up and told me that she didn't think I understood my true worth. And I said, well, why do you think that? And she said, because you apologize a lot within the context of our social group and family for what you do for a living. I went to Tyler Perry's party for the opening of the thing, and I was so stunned by all the star power there. I kind of just sat in the corner and watched. Because I think that sometimes it's difficult to accept what your level of achievement is because you know who you are and you're thinking, oh, man, if they really knew what was going on in my head, I don't know. But she said I should stop. And also because when I first became a judge on TV, my mother got really angry. She was, I cannot believe we sent you to Harvard for this. That having been said, she wanted me to be a federal judge, which would have been a wonderful job, but it pays a whole lot less than what I'm doing now. And I have an opportunity to speak my mind about whatever I want to, whenever I want to. And I always enjoy that because I love to talk and I love to say things. And I only brought that up because I thought it was weird that she claimed I didn't know my own worth at a time when I was going to talk about knowing your worth. And I think she was right. I think that I feel like I took the easy way out. Sorta. I do a fun job. Kathy does a real job. She's a brain doctor, you know what I mean? And I was supposed to be a doctor. And I fooled around in college and I couldn't get into medical school. I didn't even try a day trip. And I only went to law school because Daddy told me he was going to cut me off if I didn't go to some kind of graduate school. And now I feel like sometimes I've just been doing the easy thing. And that messes with my own sense of worth, which I just think is interesting, which just goes to show anybody can feel a little bit less than, at any time for any reason. but I was specifically talking to women who were feeling less than in their own relationships. And I always have a concern about young ladies who, and they're usually the younger ones, that no matter what their dude does, that they continue to desperately hang on to him, even if they are desperately hanging on to something that's making them desperately unhappy. So, I thought we would discuss that. And somebody asked a question. It was funny. She asked two. The first question, she says, what are the signs of being an appliance in a relationship? So I know this individual watched my show because I talk about don't get installed as an appliance. And what I mean is don't become a person who, by virtue of the fact that you've made so many compromises to what you want and what you want to do, and that you've accommodated that other person so greatly that you've lost all your options, you're stuck in a relationship, and you have no leverage by which to change the nature of the relationship, should you want to, as many young women do. And then she asked me another question, which was, how do you go about a man not wanting marriage when you're 5+ years in and a baby into the relationship? In other words, she is concerned that she has been installed. And I will tell you what I would tell young women all of the time. You're only as stuck as your mind makes you. You know what I'm saying? If the ring is the only goal that you have, then you're thinking too close. You're thinking too tight. You're not expanding enough. You should always put yourself into position, no matter what your romantic situation is, to be learning more, to be doing more, to be able to achieve more and attain more, whatever you want to do, so you regain that leverage you believe you lost by being installed in a household, and he doesn't want to get married, and you're so caught up and engaged in that life that you made together, you feel like you're stuck. But it's just not about the marriage. My sister, the one who called me and told me, rightfully, that I did not assess my worth correctly, never got married. Never. She's having way more fun than I am. Well, not way more. There was a time when she was having way more fun than I am. But if she ever gets lonely and thinks she missed the boat, she calls me and asks me what kind of drama's going on over my house. And I tell her. She says, woo! And then the next thing you know, she's in Cuba or something. Or in the rainforest. Or in the Greek islands. Or, she does what she wants to do. There's a whole lot of ways to be happy. And I just think your worth is not tied to whether or not you are a Miss or a Mrs. And that used to be so true not so long ago when I was born in 1959, back in the Stone Age. Were you a Miss or were you a Mrs.? That was all what it was. But the interesting thing that my parents did was they never discussed that with us, my sister and me. They discussed which schools and what kind of doctor you're going to be. That was it. That was all. That was the search. The marriage part was an assumption along the way. But it was never, well, what are you going to do? They didn't teach us to cook and clean and all this kind of stuff. And Kathy and I are both terrible domestics.